This episode is brought to you by Purple Banana Travel. If you're looking to book your next Walt Disney World Resort or Disneyland Resort vacation, reach out to Kate at Traveling on the Spectrum on Instagram. For everything from expert trip planning, tips on traveling with kids, and more, she's your travel agent that does it all. For a complimentary quote, contact her at kate@purplebananatravel.com and mention Park2Park podcast. Again, that's Kate, C-A-T-E, at purplebananatravel.com. Episode of the Park2Park podcast. This is CJ again here with Alli. Alli, how are you today?
Hey CJ, I'm great. You didn't say the part where we compare theme park offerings from coast to coast and we don't always see eye to eye, but in the end we'll try. How are you?
Good. This is part 2 of your trip report episode and we have a lot to talk about. So I wanted to get going, which is why I skipped that part of the intro, but thank you for filling us in. So if you didn't go back and hear part 1, that is Alli's first day at Disneyland. She did a lot, and we learned that things don't always go according to plan. So let's find out about day 2 at California Adventure. So Alli, run us through your day at DCA.
Yeah, so we got in the parks at the park singular around 8:30 in the morning. We walked from our hotel, and I had a Cliff Bar on the way there. There wasn't breakfast included in the hotel, so we were just like, okay, we'll eat our little breakfast bars and maybe we'll mobile order from Starbucks or something. Found out that we couldn't do that. So we'll get to that part a little bit later, but we went in and did Soarin' on standby. I think we waited about 30 minutes for that, so not bad for first thing in the morning. And then things got interesting. So we went over, we checked the app. Goofy Sky School was listed at a 20-minute wait, so we're like, cool, let's just knock that one out. We got over there and it was 45-minute waits.
Oh,
yeah,
not worth it.
No, that ride is not worth waiting that long. So checked the app again, said, okay, I think Midway was down. It was either down or it had a long wait, but Incredicoaster only had a 20-minute wait. So we're like, okay, let's loop over and do that. As we're in line for that, we're both like, okay, our breakfast bars are really far gone. Let's look at what we can mobile order and see what we can pick up. So we're in line. I forget about the mobile order thing because we're distracted by whatever in line. We get placed in our row. There's a party in front of us and the ride goes down.
Oh no.
So they make an announcement saying, hey, we're having some technical difficulties. You are welcome to stick around and continue to wait, or you can leave. I'm like, okay, let's stick around. And I realized at that point, oh, we forgot to mobile order. So we ended up mobile ordering from Flo's, and we split a turkey club sandwich. That was going to be enough for us. So we ordered that, and within about 5 minutes, the ride was back up.
Oh, good.
So, yeah. That is not how it went for most of the day. But, so rode Incredicoaster, had a great time. And we went over to Flo's to pick up our sandwich and eat it. And it was delicious.
Yeah, I like Flo's a lot. You guys had Genie Plus this day, correct?
We did have Genie Plus this day.
Okay, so what did you book? I'm assuming you booked something as soon as you walked into the park. What did you book?
Yes. As soon as we walked into the park, I booked Spider-Man Web Slingers because it, like we did at Disneyland, it was the one with the latest available times at the time that we walked in. So I'm like, okay, I want to get that while we can.
Yeah.
Before it sells
out. What time did it give you?
I want to say 11:15 or so.
Okay, that's not terrible.
Yeah. So after we split our little sandwich at Flo's, I looked at the wait time for racers and I'm like, okay, it's 75 minutes. Do you want to just bite the bullet and do it? And Louis said, yeah, let's bite the bullet and do it. So we got in line. They made an announcement when we were not very far into the line, just being like, hey, if you're in standby, your wait time is 120 minutes, just so you know.
No.
But single rider is only going for about 30 minutes. And we've been in line 20, 30 minutes at that point. So I'm like, okay, let's back out. I forgot single rider existed for this. So let's back out and we'll go into the single rider line. So we make it to the single rider line and the ride goes down.
Oh no.
And this time they make an announcement. They say the ride is going to be down for a couple of hours. So
Oh,
everybody
no.
needs to leave.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So
That
at that
sucks so
point, yeah.
bad.
Yeah, not ideal. So at that point, we were planning on going to Web Slingers next anyways, so we just headed that direction, had a quick bathroom and sunscreen break, and then we used our lightning lane for Web Slingers.
Okay, and that was your first time on this ride. Did you know anything about the ride going in?
I knew it was a shoot 'em ride like Midway Mania and
Buzz
Buzz
Lightyear.
Lightyear. Yeah, sorry, couldn't come up with Buzz Lightyear's name there. I was also told from a previous guest that their arms hurt really badly afterwards.
Yes, and now you
Um,
know why.
now I know why. That said, though, my arms hurt badly after Midway Mania too. So
Okay, yeah, that's true. And what did you think of web slinging? Well, first of all, this is your first time in Avengers Campus, right?
yes, it
And
was.
so, okay, so what did you think about Avengers Campus as a whole and web slingers as a whole?
So I thought Avengers Campus felt very tall. Like you can't see a lot of other things. There's a lot of really tall buildings. It's really like blocking off itself from everything else, I feel like.
Hmm.
But
Okay,
that also results in weird things, like you can see it from other parts of the park. Like when we got off of
interesting.
Mater's later in the day, we saw Spider-Man flying through the air from the
Yeah,
execute of Mater's. So that
yeah.
felt really weird. It feels incomplete. There's this giant building in the back. I'm like, you could put Cosmic Rewind right there. Come on.
I don't know if they have the space for all that, but yeah, they could do some. I agree with you about the empty space, and it feels like there's for me a lot of things are missing.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't feel very complete.
No, and when you think of Disney lands, like lands that Disney creates, think about Avatar, think about Cars Land, think about Galaxy's Edge. There's things there that even Toy Story Land, you just feel surrounded by stuff and kinetic energy all the time. And that, when you have a bunch of buildings, it doesn't really feel full. And
Yeah.
I don't think a Spider-Man Stuntronic show that happens periodically is going to help make up for that. Or characters randomly walking around. I don't think that's going to make up for it either. Like, I think it's just a very bland looking land that needs something like visual eye candy.
I think it missed the mark on immersion.
Yes, yes. So we know there's an e-ticket coming. They've announced that, I don't know, D23 Expo maybe, but I think we all knew beforehand it was coming anyways. Do you think that is going to help fix the land, or like what would you like to see differently?
I do think that would help make it feel more complete, but I don't know that that's going to help with the immersion issues.
So for me, for somebody who doesn't really do character meet and greets, and I'm not into the Marvel universe, like it just the only thing there for me is a
Mhm.
ride. And for me, Spider-Man was okay. It
Technically
wasn't.
2 rides because Mission Breakout is they redrew them.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Regardless, like when I'm talking about new additions, there's none of the new things they added really draw me in.
Mhm.
Whereas Galaxy's Edge, like I'm not a Star Wars fan, but there's enough there to draw me in and make me want to go.
Right.
So, yeah, I think, I don't know. I think with their other fandoms, they've done a good job at drawing non-fans of the fandom into the land. You know,
Mhm.
like I don't know anything about Avatar, and yet I enjoy going to Pandora. So,
Yeah, because it's visually stunning, and you
yes,
don't get that
yes.
in Avengers Campus.
No, no. All right. Any other thoughts on Avengers Campus?
I like that my magic band lit up in web slingers. That was fun.
Oh, that's cool. That's
Yeah,
cool.
did little Spider-Man colors. And the ride itself, I enjoyed. I got the high score in our vehicle.
Nice.
And I thought that it was an interesting implementation of technology.
Hmm.
I thought the pre-show was really funny too,
Yeah.
with Spider-Man in it. I mean, I'm sorry, Peter Parker, and he had
Uh-huh.
to go get his friend Spider-Man.
Right.
Um, and I was impressed by the accuracy of the shooting mechanism.
Okay. I get what you mean, and I agree.
Yeah.
All right, so after Avengers Campus, where did you go?
After Avengers Campus, I need to look at my list. After Avengers Campus, we did The Little Mermaid on standby. I think before this, we tried to do Goofy Sky School again because it was showing us a 20-minute wait on the app. But by the time we got over there, again, 40, 45, 50 minutes.
Jeez.
We're just not going to do
Were
that.
were they running single rider for Goofies or
Possible. I'm not sure.
okay. Okay.
So we decided to do 30 minutes in the standby line for The Little Mermaid instead.
Okay, when you went, was Lightning Lane in play for Little Mermaid?
No.
Okay. All right.
Maybe.
Interesting.
Maybe. Because I have it written down Little Mermaid standby, and I only wrote that down for things that
Oh.
had options for...
So, okay, so it must have been. There's no
Yeah.
reason for Little Mermaid to have a 30-minute wait. This is why Lightning Lane on that
Yeah,
ride is not needed.
There was Lightning Lane. You're right. I'm remembering that now.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessary on that ride.
No. It's an omni-mover system. It should be continuously moving.
Yes, yes. All right, after Little Mermaid.
After Little Mermaid, we had a quick bathroom break, and it was hot enough that my husband had to change into shorts.
Wow.
So then we had lunch. We had a dining reservation at the Wine Country Trattoria for
I love that
table
place.
service. We did the World of Color dining package because I didn't want to deal with figuring out the virtual queue for World of Color. Just too complicated. Just let me buy an overpriced lunch and give me a ticket the old-fashioned way.
Right? I was reading instructions about the virtual queue and I was like, this is really confusing on top of like Genie Plus Lightning Lane stuff. I'm like, no, this is too much. Maybe they make it that way on purpose so that more people buy the dining package.
Could be. But I'll tell you, when we were waiting for World of Color to start, we had a really good spot and we could hear some cast members talking, and there was like a little mini cast member meeting. And one of them, somebody who seemed like they were a leader, was saying, yeah, when they start doing the Wish preview, we stop scanning for the virtual queue. We just let them in.
Interesting.
So it seems like they have to scan everybody. So
that's going to hold it up.
It creates a huge like backlog of people to get in.
So going back to your lunch, what did you eat and what's included with your dining package?
So it's 3-course. You get soup or salad, an entree, and a dessert. The only dessert option was tiramisu, but I told our waitress, like, I don't like tiramisu. And Louis said, I don't know what tiramisu is. And I said, it's coffee flavored. And he said, oh, I do not want that. So they were very nice and accommodated us with a raspberry sorbet for dessert.
Oh, nice. I'm surprised that was their only offering.
Yeah, me too. Because that's
how
not
hard
for
would
everybody.
it be to put a gelato on offer?
Or the raspberry sorbet that they gave us.
Yeah. Yeah. My guess is that sorbet is probably what they give to people who have dairy allergies.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah, or like a gluten-free option or something.
That makes a lot of sense. So we both ordered, we both had the salad. They did mine special because I said no garlic, no onions. So my salad ended up very dry. I wish they had just done like a little olive oil on the salad.
They didn't offer that to you?
No olive oil or anything on the salad.
That is so weird.
Just mixed greens and strawberries and tomatoes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Louis had like this garlicky shrimp pasta, and I had the salmon. It was salmon and potatoes and carrots, I think. Really basic, really good.
Was the salmon really good?
Yes, it was really good.
Okay, so story time. Before I had my first child, this is like 6 or 7 years ago, we took my best friend and her husband there for lunch. And he still talks about the salmon that he had there. So I was just curious if it was like mind-blowingly good.
Yeah, it was delicious. I wouldn't call it mind-blowingly good, but it was delicious.
Okay, fair.
And then the sorbet, like, it hit all the right notes because it was actually a very warm day. It was like 85 degrees out.
Oh, nice.
So it was like nice and refreshing and just kind of like hit everything that you wanted to at the end of your lunch meal.
Did your dining package include drinks or were sodas separate?
Soft drinks were included. If we wanted alcohol, we would have to pay extra.
Right. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I got a Sprite, Louis got a lemonade. We were both happy. And during our lunch, I think it was between our salads and our entrees, there was a little mini like Christmas parade that went by.
Nice.
So we had like toy soldiers, we had some Toy Story characters, we had Mr. Incredible and Frozone, and it was like, the equivalent of two floats in a parade,
Hmm.
and they just kind of like stopped. They did their little route down the parade
Yeah,
corridor.
yeah. So I don't know if you remember the character Cavalcades, but that's
Yeah,
pretty much what that is.
yeah, it felt very cavalcadey.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Yeah, so for our listeners who are thinking about going to Wine Country Trattoria, if there's a parade going on, if you get a reservation around parade time, more than likely you'll have a good view of the parade because like
yeah,
at least half of the restaurant seating is outside. And the part that's inside, it's open air looking outside. So
yeah.
you'll at least have an okay view of the parade. But if you're sensitive to loud noises, maybe avoid dining there during parade time.
Yeah, and our seat was outdoors, shaded, and I know I mentioned it was really, really warm that day, but it was comfortable in the shade, sitting down with a light breeze.
Cool. Cool. Okay. Next, what did you do after lunch?
We used our lightning lane for Midway Mania.
Okay. Fun times.
So when we were past the point of getting our 3D glasses for that, the ride went down.
Oh no.
Fortunately, this was another 5 minutes and it's back up.
Okay, good.
However, we did stop multiple times on the ride.
Oh man.
Oh, I forgot to mention on Incredicoaster, the ride audio cut out. So
Oh,
we had audio for the first little bit of the ride, and then the ride audio cut out, so I started singing the California Screamin' song.
nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So Mania, then what?
Then we did single rider for Radiator Springs Racers.
Good. Glad you made it back there. And how long
Yeah.
was the wait in that, roughly?
We only ended up waiting about 30 minutes. The
Okay.
individual lightning lane line was backed up
Oh
past
yeah.
Ramones.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if it
Yeah.
goes down, you got to accommodate all those people. So
Yeah.
standby was probably an insanely long wait
It
then.
was about 2 hours, yeah.
Yikes.
And then we ended up in the same car with a group of Lightning Lane, and they asked us, "Oh, how long did you wait?" And I was like, "I don't know, about 30 minutes." They're like, "That's how long we waited in the Lightning Lane," and they seemed really frustrated about that. I'm like, "I was in the
Right.
single rider line. Like, there was no guarantee that I would be with the rest of my party.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why you're upset about this."
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so after Radiator Springs Racers, where'd you head off to?
Mater's Jingle Jamboree.
Oh, yes. So fun. Love that ride.
Yes, I absolutely love that ride. When we were in line, one side went down.
Okay. So they cut
So
the capacity in half. Yeah.
Yep, and that noticeably increased the wait time.
Yikes.
The forward progression was cut in half, obviously. By the time we got near the front, the other side was opened back up. So that it started moving at a quicker rate again. It was just really frustrating how like everything just was going down when we were getting so close.
Yeah. I don't think I want to go to a Disney park with you. You seem to be the bearer of bad luck.
Yeah, apparently.
After Mater's, where did you go?
After Mater's, we had a little bit of time, so we went and did the bakery tour, and I learned about
love
sourdough
that.
bread.
Mhm.
Had a little snack. We also popped into Ghirardelli's, but they were not giving out free samples.
Boo. So, question, was it San Francisco when you went?
Yes.
And how was that overlay or that renovation, refurbishment, whatever you want to call it?
Not bad. So the main differences were there's a Baymax meet and greet now. It's inside a
Mhm.
building.
Mhm.
They kind of rethemed the restaurants. We didn't order anything from any of the restaurants. I think the menu is still basically the same, but like they had Aunt Cass's Bakery instead of the Boudin
Right.
Bakery.
Oh, interesting.
And the bridge was different, but like the fish photo op is still there.
Okay.
It's still Rosie O'Donnell and Colin Mockery in the
Good.
bakery.
I hope they never
Yes.
change that.
I hope they never change that too. Yeah, there was actually like seating for like in the bakery walkthrough area too, like a couple of small like 2-seaters.
Yeah, I've seen this before. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So after the bread and Ghirardelli stop.
Yeah, we didn't actually get anything from Ghirardelli's. I was disappointed.
Mm.
We went over, we decided to do PhilharMagic, and
Mhm.
Louis came out of that going, I have never seen that before. And I'm like,
Oh,
really?
okay.
Like, I
I
knew he
thought
hadn't seen it at DCA before, but I thought
I
that we had,
thought at Magic Kingdom.
yeah, I thought he'd been in it
Okay.
at Magic Kingdom, but he was like, I don't have any recollection of that. I'm like, well, they've updated it recently to add Coco.
Maybe he
Um,
slept through it last
it's
time he was there.
possible. But yeah, we did PhilharMagic, RIP the
Good.
Muppets.
Yeah.
And then we went into the animation building.
Okay.
So, main reason to do that was for us to kill some time. We had a lightning lane coming up, and we're just like, okay, we just need to spend a little bit of time before we use this. And also, we wanted to do, well, mainly me, I wanted to do the Beast's Library before it closed.
Mhm.
I didn't realize that the Ursula part of that attraction was
Oh,
long
yeah. That's
closed.
been gone for a long time.
Yeah. So I was a little bit disappointed in that. But there was an entire queue to get into the Beast's Library.
Wow.
It was not very long.
Okay.
We made it maybe like 15, 20 minutes, but they were just like, okay, people are coming out. We're going to let like 4 people in because 4 people came out. We were just,
Yeah.
they were just
Yeah.
making sure that it didn't go over capacity. Funniest thing, there was a family in front of us. It was a mom, a grandma, and 2 young daughters. And the older of the 2 kept saying, I want to go to the mermaid ride. And mom going, this is the way to the mermaid ride.
Oh, no.
You
Oh,
have to do
no.
this before you can go on the mermaid ride. And I wasn't going to tell her otherwise. I mean,
Yeah, maybe the mom was saying that because the other one wanted to do something else and
the younger one was not at an age where she could vocalize, I want to do something.
okay.
So,
Okay.
I think that the mom wanted to do the Beast Library
Yes.
with.
I have definitely pulled this move on my children before.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I just thought it was really funny that she was just flat out lying to her child, and the child had, like, she didn't know any better. She was like 3.
Hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, okay?
Yeah. All right. So after we accomplished the Beast Library, took a minute to rest our feet. Louis went and changed back into his jeans because the sun was down. It was cooling off. And I faced my ultimate fear.
Oh.
We rode Mission Breakout on Lightning Lane.
Uh-huh. And okay, have you seen any ride-throughs or anything?
I believe I have seen a ride through of it,
Okay.
just for the purposes of doing our
Oh,
episode on
research.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I also listened to another podcast where they kind of went over the attraction, so I got to listen to their description of the ride through. Saw the Yeti. That was cool.
Yeah. Did you see Figment?
I did not see Figment.
Oh, dang. What did you think of the little raccoon rocket raccoon animatronic?
I was really glad that it was working. So it was an A
Yes.
mode, not B mode. So
Yes.
pleased with that. I thought it was really funny. I like Rocket. I think he's
Mhm.
a cool guy.
Mhm.
So I was happy that he was working.
Mm-hmm. And the ride itself. Do you remember what song you got?
So funny story about that. The song started. I went, oh, cool. And then the screaming started. And so when we got off the ride, I said, Louis, okay, I need my water bottle because I have screamed myself hoarse. I am completely parched. And I downed the water bottle. And we're walking to our lightning lane for Goofy Sky School finally. When we get to Web Slingers and I say, Louis, what song did we have? Because I was either screaming too loud to not hear it or I just blocked it from my memory. But it was the Jackson 5 song.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Which we can do a quick Google
I think it's
if
ABC,
we want.
isn't it?
No, I want to say it's I Want You Back. Mission Breakout songs. Yeah, it's I Want You Back.
Oh, okay, then never mind.
Yeah.
I don't know where I got ABC from.
I
I'm
don't
just
know.
making things up over here. Okay, would you go on it again?
No.
What did you think of the use of screens? Because that's,
Annoying. I didn't like them. I also didn't like the hovering part. I thought it would be a light hovering, like a little whoopa, 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 but instead it was like a whoopa, whoopa, whoopa on the hovering bits. And I hope for everybody who is audio only that you understand what I mean. I did a little hand motion for those of you who are watching on video. I think it is the worst iteration of the Tower of Terror style rides.
For what reason?
The screens and the hovering.
Okay. Interesting.
I think it was well made, like thematically. It fits into Avengers Campus. Did not fit into Hollywoodland. Fits
No.
into Avengers Campus. And I
Yes.
think it was well made. The rocket animatronic is really cool. The premise I think fits in, but I do think it is the worst iteration of the Tower of Terror style rides.
Interesting. Okay.
And I will drop in the ride photo because you can see the trauma happening on my face in the ride picture. I'll just drop in the part of me and Louie, but everybody else in the elevator was smiling, happy, except maybe the one guy who's clinging desperately to his baseball cap. I can't really see his face, but there's everybody smiling, happy, screaming, hands in the air, and then there's me.
Right. All right. So it sounds like you finally made it to Goofy's Sky School.
We did finally make it to Goofy's Sky School. Did a little bit of shopping beforehand. Didn't see anything worth buying. Just, killing the time before our lightning lane. Yeah, Goofy Sky School. It was great. It was fine.
Yep.
It's Goofy Sky School. The little girl in front of us was kind of scared, but we tried to be cheerful in our screaming so that she didn't freak out. I try to do that when I know there's a little kid who's scared and I'm being placed near them. I do the wee sort of screaming instead of the wah sort of screaming,
Right. Okay, so after Goofy Sky School.
After Goofy Sky School, it was time for dinner. We mobile ordered from Smoke Jumper Grill.
Oh, I like that place. And how was the food? What'd you get?
I had the basic cheeseburger. I think Louis had the barbecue bacon cheeseburger.
Do they still have the toppings bar or did they get rid of that?
They do not have the toppings bar. Also, you have to ask for salt and pepper.
Oh, that's weird. You know what?
Yeah.
That might be a state of California thing though, because I think I remember some rule about you don't just give things away in case it's wasteful.
Could be. I don't know, but I had to go and
you know
ask for some salt.
You know how you have to ask for straws and stuff? I want to say there was a law like that with condiments too, but I don't remember.
That makes sense.
I might be wrong on that. Don't quote me, but something about that rings a bell.
Anyways, Louis really enjoyed his burger. My burger was disappointing, then good, then disappointing again, because I hated the sauce. I didn't know I was going to hate the sauce. So I removed my bottom bun, which was where most of the sauce was, ate a little bit more, realized there was also sauce on the top bun, which is where the second disappointment hit in. So then I removed the top bun too and just finished eating meat, cheese, and lettuce.
Okay, like a wrap. Okay.
Yeah, which, I mean, the meat, cheese, and lettuce, it met my standards for a theme park cheeseburger. So,
yeah, that's fair. So after dinner,
it was a slow mosey back to Jesse's Critter Carousel.
Oh boy.
Which we only rode because we needed to kill some time before our lightning lane for the Incredicoaster.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So then after that, you did Incredicoaster, I'm guessing.
Yes,
with
we did.
No audio issues this time?
No ride breakdowns, no audio issues, and it was in the dark. So
nice.
We got to do the morning ride and the evening ride, so different experiences, good times.
Cool. And after Incredicoaster?
After Incredicoaster, we went into our waiting area for World of Color and sat there for an hour because my feet were done, CJ. My feet were so done.
So for the World of Color dining package, do they give everybody who has a dining package the same section to sit in, or how does that work?
Yes, I believe it is the same section for everybody who does the dining package.
Okay, and where was that? If you're looking at the lagoon from Little Mermaid, what area were you in?
We were right in front of King Triton. So
we on the lower level or upper? So you're in the middle, basically.
Mid level. Okay. So there were levels in front of us. But there were also levels behind us. The dessert party was behind us. And we were a 30-degree angle to Pixar Pal Around.
Okay.
Which the woman next to me called the Ferris Wheel of Doom. Which I agree wholeheartedly.
And how was the show? How was your view? How was the show?
So because we were the first people in our section, we got prime viewing area. I brought us right up to the front where there was a rope in front of us and no people.
Nice.
So it was an open walkway in front of us.
Yeah.
So our view was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
I was disappointed that we did not get World of Color 1. We got the holiday show
Oh,
instead.
yeah. Yeah.
And we have talked on this podcast about why Disney World, I think we have. I know you and I have at least talked in person about it, why Disney World doesn't do the Haunted Mansion holiday overlay.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt that way about World of Color. Like, this was my one chance for World of Color.
Yeah.
And I got the holiday version instead of the World of Color 1 version, which I really wanted to see.
Yeah. And, I feel like in the past, I might be wrong on this, didn't they used to run that show twice a night?
They were doing the holiday edition twice a night when we were there.
Yeah. So to me, why couldn't they do the holiday edition for the first show or something and World of Color 1 for the second show? I don't know. Maybe there's a technical reason why they can't, but yeah.
I don't know, but I know that I was not going to be able to stick around for show number 2. I was so tired. So
Yeah.
I was really grateful that we got the 9:00 show. Also, we got paper tickets to go into the dining area section, which I think, it wastes paper, but I think it's more convenient than scan.
Yes.
Because they just check the date, check the time. Okay, you're good. Go in. Oh, you need to leave to go to the bathroom. Okay, take this ticket and bring it back to us. Which Louis ended up doing. And then he sat down and took 4 Advil, and I was really jealous because I'm not supposed to take Advil. Anyways, and that kind of ended our night. I did still enjoy the show. I thought it was really good. My magic band interacted with it a lot, which
Cool.
I enjoyed. It was a little distracting at first, but there's like a part where Goofy goes Clark Griswold and gets electrocuted because he's Goofy. And like my magic band like buzzed when he was getting electrocuted.
Oh, cool.
It was really funny. Yeah. So after that, we did a casual stroll to the front of the park. We took like the back route behind Grizzly to kind of avoid some of the crowds, which, by the way, it was hot enough that day that we could have gone on Grizzly. It was really warm. Did a little shopping, did not find the ornament I wanted, but just kind of moseyed out and then limped back to our hotel.
Cool. Now, this is just my impression, but it seems like you guys did a lot of crisscrossing throughout that park.
Yeah, I blame Goofy's Sky School for a lot of that, and ride closures for a lot of that as well.
Yeah.
If Racers hadn't gone down when it did, we would have finished Maters, and not gone back to Cars Land. But because it went down, we had to go back.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of a disappointing turn of events, it sounds like. I mean, every day at Disney is a good day, but like when you run into so many problems, it's, it can be frustrating.
Yeah. We definitely could have done the day a little bit more optimally, but the odds were not in our favor.
Right. Right. That makes sense. That totally makes sense. Okay, so let's get into like the analysis of your analysis. Can you tell me highlights and lowlights for your day at Disneyland and your day at DCA? Just really quick. Highlight, lowlight.
So I wouldn't call this the number one highlight of the day, but I would say my first highlight for Disneyland was seeing Genie. That I thought was really cool. The fact that he was just kind of there moseying along, like between Small World and Matterhorn. He was like, there's that shop like right outside of Matterhorn. He was like a little bit on like near that shop, basically. So seeing Genie just like out of the blue, that was really cool.
Out of the blue.
Hey!
Okay, and then low light of day one.
Again, that was not the highlight. That was just a highlight. Okay,
fine. So the highlight.
I honestly, it was 2 weeks ago at this point. A lot of it is like fuzzed out of my brain.
Yes.
Let's see here. Okay, so a low light of day one. Waiting that long for Jungle Cruise and then getting stuck on Jungle Cruise.
Yeah, I can imagine that not being that great.
Yeah, I did submit a cast compliment for our skipper after you told me to when recording our last episode. So
good. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, highlight and low light for your DCA day 2.
Getting to ride Incredicoaster twice.
Yay! And low light, I think I can guess.
Riding Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Blank Out.
Oh, I was gonna say all the rides breaking down on you.
Yeah, also all the rides breaking down at the most inopportune times. That too.
Okay. Okay, now your top 3 rides at both Disneyland and DCA.
Okay, so I'll start with Disneyland. Space Mountain was definitely, I wouldn't call it number one. I'm not going to name any of them as number one, but Space Mountain, top three for sure. I was sobbing in the tunnel because I was so happy to be there. I learned on this trip that anytime I have like really strong emotions, I just start crying. So strong positive emotions, I'm on Space Mountain, sobbing, just sobbing. Anyways, so that's one of the highlights, Space Mountain. Haunted Mansion Holiday. It's been a long time since I've been able to be on that.
Yeah.
And Rise of the Resistance, always a good time.
Big Thunder, your favorite ride, did not make it to your top 3.
Wow.
I was surprised. Okay, top 3 at DCA.
Incredicoaster, the nighttime run of it. More so than the daytime. I think part of that was because the audio was working, and part of that was the light effects, I think, have a bigger impact at night.
Okay, cool.
Let's see here. Number 2, not necessarily in the second slot, but one of the other top 3, I'd say Web Slingers. New ride for us. Haven't been on it before. Had a great time. Really enjoyed it. Cool use of technology inside a Disney park. And Mater's Jingle Jamboree. I love that ride. I think it's really fun. I think it's really funny. And while I wish we could have had some of the original songs, I was not disappointed by the holiday themed songs. One of them being Tractors, Tractors, Tractors to the tune of the Dreidel song.
Awesome. Favorite restaurant you ate at?
Ooh, Pizza Planet.
I'm surprised by that.
But Far Out Chicken Fusilli, it's really good.
I know, but you seem to really like the salmon raspberry sorbet.
That was also really good. But I do think another part of that was at Pizza Planet, it was 6 of us there. So I think having
the atmosphere and the company
atmosphere and the family time. Yeah.
Okay. The only show you saw was World of Color, correct?
Yeah, unless you count anything. Yeah, fireworks were canceled. We saw a little bit of Small World projections. I don't know if you count like going into the animation building as a show. Oh, we saw PhilharMagic. That's a show. It's not nighttime.
I meant like entertainment.
I mean, it was entertaining, but yeah, as far as nighttime entertainment goes, yes, World of Color was the only nighttime entertainment we got.
Okay. What's something Disneyland Resort as a whole is doing right that you think Walt Disney World could implement? And I've asked this before, and I'm curious if your answer is the same, and then I'll reverse the question.
I do think we are a broken record. We've said this several times before. I saw so many characters at Disneyland, and you just don't get that at Disney World. We saw Frozone hanging out in front of the Incredicoaster, so not just in the parade. We saw him there. We saw Woody and Bo Peep hanging out in front of Midway Mania. We saw Jack Skellington and Jack Sparrow. We saw Genie. I'm trying to think who else we saw, but we just saw, Oh, we were next, the Big Thunder queue was next to the Encanto meet and greet, so we saw Mirabelle there.
Cool.
But yeah, just so many characters.
Yeah, and a lot of them you don't have to like get in a queue for. You know, not like a formal queue, at least maybe a little one with a cast member there. But
Chewbacca, we saw Goofy, and I got to give Goofy a hug. Goofy needed a little break, so I knew he was going back, and I'm like, Goofy, I just need a quick hug. Thank you. I love you. Bye.
Nice. So then vice versa, what's something Disney World's doing right that you think Anaheim could implement?
Oh, the mass implementation of magic bands.
Why do you think nobody's really using them at Disneyland?
So I saw maybe 10 other people with them. I think because they went without them for so long, I think maybe people are kind of stubborn and are like, well, they're like $60. Why would I pay that when I can just use my phone?
Are they really that much?
The Magic Band Plus?
Yeah.
Aren't they?
No.
Magic.
I didn't think they were that
Band
much.
Plus. Let's see here. Shop Disney Magic Band Plus. Let's see here. The Wish one is $45. There's a Frozen one for $65. This Christmas one is $32 or $31.50.
Yeah, you can get them for like $30.
Yeah,
especially the standard ones.
The plain, boring, just solid color ones are $35, but this Disney 100 $55, Princess $45.
Right.
Yeah, so they're not cheap, and you're already paying for your ticket or for your annual pass / Magic Key. And the other thing is that like they just have the like phone scanners built in, and isn't that how you did the like Max Pass thing when they were doing that?
Yeah.
So maybe people just got used to doing that and aren't willing to commit the extra money for a magic band, even though like it made it so much easier. Like,
Yeah. And I wonder in the next few years, they've done away with free magic bands here. And I wonder, since they've done away with it, with the free ones here, if we're going to see more of a Disneyland style thing where people just don't really have them because you have to pay for them now. Like if you already
yeah.
have one, then keep using it. But like if you can do it for free on your phone or with a little park ticket, why would you pay?
Yeah. And like the thing with scanning the park tickets, it's so inconvenient. It takes
Oh, I
so
hate it.
long.
Yes.
Um,
I hate when there's somebody with like 5 tickets on a phone and they're swiping through each one. It takes so long.
that was me. That was me at
Yeah.
Disneyland.
Yeah, and
I swiped through
you're
the
an
5.
efficient person. I know that, but like some people, they're like, "Oh, where in the app do I go?" And they're just confused and don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. Sometimes I wish that they just didn't have the option to use a phone. Like I'd rather go back to like putting a paper fast pass ticket into like getting a little ticket that you hand off.
Yeah.
That seems a lot easier to handle.
Yeah. I don't think that we're going to revert to that ever.
No, I don't think so either.
But they need to either make magic bands. So Louie and I were actually talking about this yesterday because Mom said, bring your magic bands when you come visit to Florida, which when this episode comes out, that trip will be over. And I'm like, well, Louie doesn't have one because he's only gotten the ones that we've gotten for free from hotels, which is 2 for him, maybe just 1. I'm not sure.
And maybe the battery's dead by now.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Yeah,
because we got it in 2016.
Oh yeah, no, that's yeah.
I'm the only one in our family, the 2 of us, who's shelled out for Magic Band Plus, and that's only because we were at Disney World. I knew I was doing another day at Disney World, and I already had like a Disneyland date booked. Yeah. I knew we were going to do Mouse Adventure, and I knew that I was going to do Disneyland in November. So this was last February.
Yeah,
I bought the Magic Band Plus, and I've used it like 7 times since I bought it.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Versus Louis, like he went to 2 of those trips.
Right. Yeah. For him, well, maybe now for him it's worth it because I don't know, because you can recharge the battery. That is, if he even wants one. He may not want one.
Yeah, I don't think he does, honestly. But anyways, yesterday we were saying like I feel like when you buy your ticket, Disney needs to give you the option of, do you want a magic band with it included for free? And you can say, yes, send me your plain solid color magic band with it, or you can say, no, I already have one, don't send me anything. And I feel like that is the way that you get people to adopt magic bands. You give them one for free when they buy their ticket, or they can say, no, I don't need one, I have already got one. And if they want a fancier one, they buy it. And you've seen rabid Disney fans. They'll buy the magic band that they want.
They'll buy the Dooney and Burke magic band.
Yeah. I've seen pictures of people with just like a ring of 20, 30, 40 magic bands. Because they just want them.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, if they give them away for free, though, I mean, they've invested so much into that system. So they got to make a return on it somehow. But you'd think that like the money they make from selling Genie Plus and Lightning Lane could go back into that. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. Maybe they should go back to hotel guests getting magic bands because they have broader use for them than just a regular park guest.
Because you can use it to open your door. You can use it. I mean, anybody can
like
use it
charge
to pay
your room.
Yeah.
No, you can't actually use your magic band to pay for things unless you're a hotel guest.
Oh, JK. I rescind that statement.
They charge the hotel room folio.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, because if I could use it to pay for stuff, I 100% would. Yeah, so I don't know.
Maybe they need to implement that for everybody,
Dude,
it's connected to your Disney account.
Yes.
So I have a credit card connected to my Disney account. Like that's how I mobile ordered. Like just let me tap my magic band and pay for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's dangerous, but
well, it has the PIN code, so anyways.
Oh no, I mean the spending money part is dangerous.
Oh,
not,
it is.
Not that somebody's gonna use it, but like, it doesn't feel like money when you're just tapping a magic band.
Right. What's the biggest surprise about Disneyland since last time you were there? It can be either the parks or like the resort overall, or even Anaheim.
I had never been into the Pixar parking structure before, so does that
Mhm.
count? I was I was flabbergasted by it. We went into Mickey and Friends, and then we were in a bridge going across, and all of a sudden we were on the Mike and Sully floor.
Yeah, yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah, that was wild. And then I knew that like the tram was like you went through security and then got on the tram. I thought that was really well done. But like the tram loading area, I love how it's in the shade and it's like
Yeah,
decorated and stuff
and
now.
security's, like, right there. Like, it seems
Yeah.
more of a permanent setup than it used to be.
Yeah. I do think they need to implement the Walt Disney World security scanners.
Yes. Oh
Make
my
it
gosh,
faster.
yes, yes. What advice would you give to guests going to Disneyland right now?
Bring your painkiller of choice because you will be doing a lot of walking.
Okay.
Bring in your water bottle, bring in your snacks. Oh my god, please mobile order.
Yes.
Mobile order will change your life.
Yes. Yes. It takes forever to stand there and place an order. Like,
Yeah.
just mobile order. Did I
Yeah.
tell you about the time this is a tangent. Did I tell you about the time I was in, Hollywood Studios, Galaxy's Edge? Violet was really little and she needed milk, like needed milk. And I tried to mobile order from Docking Bay 7. You could not mobile order just milk from Docking Bay 7, but it was an option with the kids' meal. And I had to stand there and wait. And I was like, I don't have an allergy. I'm just trying to get milk and I can't mobile order it. And they're like, oh, go right ahead. And then I got behind somebody who had like, a gazillion food allergies. I was like, just let me order milk as my child is screaming. But since then I've checked and you can, I think I emailed Disney and I was like, this is a problem. Like,
Yeah.
because since then now you can mobile order milk. I've double checked. So, anyways, last question: what's something that you would do differently on your next trip?
Not have rides break down as I'm about to board them.
Okay, but that's not in your control.
That's not in my control. I would like to be more efficient, and I would also not do my Disney days consecutively. I would do a rest day in between. I think that would have made my DCA day a lot more pleasant. But just with the nature of this trip, it being the week of Thanksgiving, I had to work on Wednesday. Like we had to do Monday, Tuesday if we were going to do both parks. We didn't have a choice. So
yeah, exactly. Okay, any final thoughts?
10 out of 10 would Disney again.
Nice.
I told Louie on Tuesday night, like the last 4 days, and 2 of those being our Disney days, were like, those last 4 days were the best days of the year for me because we had 2 Disney days, we had a wedding in there, and I got to see my oldest friend and one of Louie's oldest friends. So it just added up to the best 4 days of the year.
Nice. Well, you'll be here soon in Florida.
Yeah. See if you can top those.
Whether or not, well, come on, your niece and nephew are here, so
yeah, they're little gremlins and I love them. They're in their hurricane stage.
They certainly are. I don't know if we'll ever outgrow that stage. And maybe we'll do a water park while you're here.
It's possible, weather dependent. We are not doing it on the 28th. I know I put that out as a day that we are available, but it doesn't make sense to do it because we're flying out that night and that won't be enough time for our bathing suits to dry out.
You could just get a bathing suit to leave here at Mom and Dad's house.
I have a long-sleeved bathing suit shirt that I wear that keeps me from getting sunburn on my shoulders and on my tummy.
Well, you could get another one
with me. No, it was like $50, CJ. I'm not getting another one of those.
But you could get a cheap version of one and just leave it at Mom and Dad's house. For the listeners, Mom and Dad just built a pool in their backyard. And so I and my family are leaving bathing suits at their house and towels. So Alli, that's what you should do for every time you visit. That way you don't have to pack a bathing suit every time you come.
Well, I'll consider it, but for this trip, not happening.
What if I bought you that bathing suit for Christmas?
I thought you already bought me a Christmas present because you called me asking about my shirt size.
Well, you also have a birthday.
That's true. I mean, I got it from like Land's End, so if you want to go spend like $50 on a swim shirt for me, I guess.
I'm not a Land's End kind of gal. I'm an Amazon.com kind of gal.
Okay, but like you have to get one with UV protection in it.
Yes,
like,
I understand
very specific, CJ.
I
so easily.
I understand. I think I can find something for you, and you can just leave it at Mom and Dad's house.
Okay.
I think that's it for this episode, which somehow turned into bathing suit chat.
You started it. You talked about water parks.
Yeah, the water parks are a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
as long as the weather's nice, I wouldn't say no to a water park on like the day after Christmas. But that day I think is the only day that I've got.
Okay. We would have to
And
convince mom and dad to watch the kids.
yeah, and that's also the day that we've got my birthday brunch. So
Okay.
have to be after that.
Okay. All right.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Okay.
Look for a possible recap.
On our next episode, we are entering Mickey and Minnie's cinematic universe as we delve into
That's the
Mickey's
real
PhilHar
MCU.
magic. Yeah, the real MCU, the Mouse cinematic universe. As we delve into Mickey's PhilHar magic and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. One of them's at Magic Kingdom. One of them's at Disneyland. One of them's at Hollywood Studios. One of them's at Disneyland. One of them's at DCA. And one of them is at Magic Kingdom. So we'll be covering 4 different attractions in 4 different parks next time. And let's see, subscribe to Park2Park podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Give us a review, smash that subscribe button on YouTube. If
Tell
you have
your friends.
Yes, if you want to be on an episode, reach out to us. And I think that's it.
Yeah, tell your friends, tell your enemies about the podcast. And we love you all and hope you had a happy holiday season.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.